This is question 31 on problem solving from the 2018 BMAT. So Bruno did a coursework project and his total score was 48 out of 80. This composed of 4 sections that were each out of 20 and the marks were integers or whole numbers. And so the smallest difference between 2 sections was 2, and that was between design and construction. And the largest difference between sections was 11, and that's between design and evaluation. And so the 4th section was research, and so how many marks did the research section have? So where shall we begin? Well, I find it always helps if you can visualize what's going on. So let's draw some sort of number line where we've got each of design, evaluation, and construction on there. We know there's a small difference between design and construction, and a big difference between design and evaluation. So we don't know whereabouts these are, but let's assume, based on these differences, that it looks something like this. So evaluation is the lowest and design is the highest, with a small difference between that and construction that's just below it. So if we've got to make 48 as our total score, and we need the number of marks in the research section, then why don't we just try and guess some marks for each of these sections firstly, and see if we're anywhere close. So let's be pessimistic first and assume that evaluation has 0 points, and therefore what would design be? So we know the difference between design and evaluation is 11 marks. Then the difference between design and construction is 2 marks. So that would be a 9. So now what would the score in the research section be? Well, the sum of 11 and 9 and 0 is 20. And so if we need to make 48 overall, then what does research have to be? That has to be 28, which we know is impossible because it's out of 20. So what does this mean? That our first guess is given these scores to values that are too low, and so we need to bump them up a bit. Let's say we add 5 to each one, so therefore we're going to keep the same differences, and that would look something like this. 11's gone to 16, 9's gone to 14, 0's gone to 5. So if we do the same thing again, what's the sum of these? 16 plus 14 is 30, add 5 will make 35. So what does the research section have to be to make 48? So 48 minus 35 is 13. So this is a more sensible score. So could this work? Well, we're told that the smallest difference between 2 section marks is 2, and that's between design and construction. But you can see that if the research section is 13, then it's going to be too close to the score in construction. So this won't do. But it looks like we're quite close to the values that we want. So how shall we skew it this time? Well, ideally, we want research to fall somewhere in the middle of construction and evaluation, so it's not too close to either of them. And so how can we do this? Well, if we bump each of these points up by 1, that gives 17, 15, 6. We've still got our difference of 11 and 2. So what's the sum of all these? 17 plus 15 is 32, plus 6 is 38. Therefore, what does research have to be? To make 48, research would be 10. Now, does this work? Well, it's 4 points away from evaluation and 5 points away from construction. So the smallest difference still holds as design and construction. So it looks like it works. And we're only asked how many marks are in the research section, not the maximum or minimum. So because we found a guess that works, then it means this must be the answer, no matter how we arrive at it. So if 10 is our final answer, this corresponds to A on the question paper.